Hello, Alex.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here.
So today we're going to be discussing the roles and expectations of a modern day relationship from the eyes of a creative video maker. That's you, Alex. First, I'd like to know what inspired you to become a video maker?
Oh, honestly, it's a very long story, but I'm gonna make it short so it's like kind of dynamic. So ever since I was a child, I dreamed of creating videos, and I started my own YouTube channel by the age of 13 because I was so inspired by lots of creators. I would watch like Minecraft Let's Plays, different people react and like talking about their life, and I was so thrilled to tell my own story through videos and like show off so people can see what I'm passionate about and stuff. So I started my YouTube channel from doing Let's Plays on Minecraft. It's like from what everybody starts from, I would say.
Yeah.
And then by the age of 14, I started doing reactions. So it's basically you watch a video and you show your reaction to that. So how you like this video or dislike, vice versa, whatever. And then one of my videos went viral, and it was a reaction to a Kyrgyz Asian music. It was called Muras. And this video got 500,000 views on YouTube. And my channel by that time had around 5,000 subscribers or 2,000 subscribers. So it was like crazy a lot. And after that, I started exploring like different cultures, their religion and their music and stuff like that. So that's how I grew my channel up to almost 200,000 subscribers by the age of 16. And I got a silver play button. And then when I was 16, I realized that I don't like doing this anymore. And I would
Really?
Yeah, that I would want to tell my own story, that I would like to make something bigger than just like watching others' videos and telling my opinion on some other one's content and whatsoever. So I took a creative break to think about all my content and what I can do about this. And I ended up never coming back on YouTube. And during that period, I was learning English, practicing, and getting admitted to college here in Canada, Toronto, and moved in here. I'm from Ukraine, if somebody doesn't know. So anyway, and when I came here, I started doing videos commercially, and I started doing advertisements for people, Instagram Reels, short, brand story videos. And it's so interesting to see how a lot of professionals are passionate about what they're doing and how they're trying to promote themselves. And I really love to help them do that. So I really love telling people's story. So for example, when I do an advertisement for a service or a massage or whatever at like spa salon, I would always want people to tell the story. Why do you need the service? What's behind it? And just go somewhere deeper in just like a regular advertisement, you know? And pretty much my inspiration for video making was storytelling, I would say.
That's really interesting. And when you say storytelling, I wonder something about this. A lot of people seem to get into trouble today when they're making videos. And when I mean trouble, it's not that they're doing something bad. They're getting extremely low views because they continuously give the audience what they themselves want instead of giving the audience what the audience want. What do you think about that?
Like, what do you mean getting in trouble? Just like not going viral or?
Getting low amount of views.
Oh, low amount of views.
I didn't express that well.
Yeah, no problem. So of course, if you want to get more views, then you need to be on top of the search. So you need to know what people want to see. And of course, people love to see some scandals. They love to see something erotic, or they want to see something interesting. So of course, if you have some idea in mind that you want to pursue to the audience, you need to find a specific way to match with the search. So basically, for example, if I want to tell about let's take the spa salon again. If I want to talk about the spa salon, I need to find the audience that might be interested in my services, for example. Then I need to find some catch points, like what can be the problem of that viewer. For example, hurt in the back or some stuff like that. And that's really what every creator should pursue. If they have some idea in mind, they really need to think of how this idea can help others. And that's why they can grab attention and basically get the views. And of course, doing some viral stuff can help, like doing clickbait previews or like thumbnails. That helps a lot as well. So if you have something to talk about, just think about it and create a proper script and think how you can engage with people, how you can make them interested.
Yeah, I really should. I also recommend that a lot of the audience actually listen to Alex's recommendations, because tell them how much you have on YouTube, how much subscribers.
So it's 175,000 right now.
There you go.
Yeah, and I haven't been on YouTube for 3 years, so I'm not doing that anymore.
That's still a large number.
Yeah, that's a
very
large number.
large
It
number.
decreased. It was like 180 before, but whatever. It's still a good portfolio, I would say.
Yeah,
And it's a big history. It's more than 300 videos, or more. I'm not sure.
exactly. And so now that you told us what inspired you to become the video maker, so how have the roles of men and women in a relationship changed in the 21st century? You know that it's very different today due to all the technology we have. And
Are we talking
everything.
like in the whole world or just in Canada? Because I can clearly say in Canada, because I've been experienced with that.
well, what have you experienced? What changes have you noticed personally?
Well, personally, back in Ukraine, when I was living there for my whole life, I've noticed that there was like a huge line between men and women responsibilities personally. So it would be considered for men to go and get money, provide bread for his family, and for women to mainly stay at home and like take care of the family, take care of the kids, and develop like what is it called? A peace at home, basically. And when I came to Canada, I realized that it's vice versa here because there is like so multicultural society and a lot of people come from different cultures. And rent is so expensive here. So women cannot stay at home anymore and they need to actually pursue their career and work. And so this line of responsibilities has changed significantly because a lot of women decide to pursue career instead of staying home and taking care of their family like full time. And I really love that because that helps people to develop their skills and achieve their dreams. And they're not like trapped in somebody's, I don't know, imagination or whatever. So I would say, yeah, people can actually achieve skills what they want more now because they don't have to be doing something that they don't like doing, you know?
Well, it depends. I saw a lot of girls actually complaining about that. They really missed the part about
Yeah.
staying at home. But still, they're allowed to continue using the old methods. It seems that mostly the cultures that changed are in the big cities.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because they have to struggle. They have to like circle around and get money to provide the living for themselves. And if they want to live a good life, they really need to do something. And that's basically why it's changing. And I really love that because that makes them more interesting, like a more interesting person. And I kind of feel like women that are saying that they would rather stay at home, they kind of do like working. And they do want to achieve something that they like instead of just being at home.
It's a very arguable part, I would say.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, what you say is basically you're talking about city girls, and then there are country girls. There's a lot of differences in those areas.
Yeah, it mainly depends on where they're living and how they were treated in their culture as well. Because back in Ukraine, for example, my mom was always working and she was never at home. So in my family, we never had these roles. For example, men should work and women should stay at home. And my mom was like always working full time, sometimes even more than my dad, and vice versa. So they were like kind of switching up between. So I wasn't raised with some kind of stereotypes between what men should do and what women should do at this point. They were all doing what they like.
I see. That's really interesting. But again, some of the girls really like staying at home.
I mean, yeah,
talking to
they
their
can do that.
but that's only if they actually do like it, as you mentioned. Because I think
if
these
they
things,
like it.
what we say, we should try to put it together.
Yeah.
That old methods are still very good. It's just as long as the lady
they're
likes
enjoying it. Yeah. If they like the life they're living, then why not?
So you mentioned how it's very different here in Canada and
Yeah.
of modern days as well. What stereotypes about relationships still exists in modern society? For example, a lot of people still say these things exist, but they actually don't. Do you think there are such things?
I feel like, yeah, a lot of people forget to mention men mental health. And personally, for me, it makes a big difference because a lot of people try to pursue men as like highly super dominant. They always need to be hard as steel to protect their loved ones, to protect their family, and they need to be unbreakable, basically. But a lot of people forget that men are people too, so they can have emotions. And a lot of people just keep it to themselves, and that makes a really big problem in their mental health. And so that's definitely a problem of taking men to dominant. I would say that's one of the problems.
Too dominant,
Too
I think is
dominant.
what you're saying, because
Yeah, too dominant.
a lot of girls have been making reels about this, that they're very surprised about seeing that their boyfriends never got a compliment before. And then there's another reel that's very famous. It's very viral right now on YouTube and Instagram that I noticed is when they pretend to have telepathy. The boyfriend touches the girl's head, and he sees her past, as in nail coloring and her makeup and her time with her girlfriends. And when she touches his head and she sees inside his past, she sees him alone in his room screaming.
Yeah.
And this is the part where she gets into shock and she just hugs him. So it's a very deep reel, I would say.
Yeah.
Because
and it makes a lot of sense to me, because coming back from Ukraine, we had like thousands of stereotypes about men, that they shouldn't paint their nails or look a certain way, that they always need to look like dominant, that they need to dress like all black or just look too formal for everything. And I feel like they're putting, personally myself, in such a breaks, and it feels like I'm in a cage sometimes. And when I try to stand out, they would always complain about something, find a way to tell why I'm doing something wrong. And I actually feel like it doesn't have to be that way in our society in 21st century, because we're allowed to do what we want to do and be happy. So do compliments.
So what factors influence the success of relationships in today's world? So we mentioned the things that are very different. What are the main factors that cannot be changed today? What factors of relationship do you think have to stay? For example, what would you want a girl to have?
So the most important part for me is definitely the communication. You cannot go anywhere without communication. You can have a good looks, you can have a good appearance, whatsoever, but if you don't have a proper communication in your relationship, then it's gonna fall apart. So I would say, personally, for me, the other important thing is growing together. So I wouldn't want my partner just to like sit at home and do nothing. I would actually want to grow together, do something interesting, like have mutual interest, go out and like shoot videos or do some arts. So it needs to be something interesting that we both are passionate about, for the relationship to grow and for us as personalities to grow as well. So I would say communication is the pivotal thing that will never change if you want to get a good relationship with somebody. Even a friendship or a romantic relationship, you need to have something in common, or you need to respect others' boundaries. You need to realize what they like, what they don't like, and you need to respect that, because, yeah, people have feelings at this point.
So I really wonder about the communication part, because a lot of men and women have very different definition of the word communication. How would you explain the word communication?
I feel like the word communication for me speaks for itself. You just need to talk about your problems. If you have something that you don't like about your partner or what they're doing, just talk about that, express your opinion, and then have a conversation and discuss what kind of resolution you can come up with together, and to not make it a big trouble. And try to show less emotions during these conversations. Just try to be sane, I would say. Just try to be as sane as possible, and just show love to your partner that you're not that held to what they're doing.
What I was saying is just that the girls often have a communication a very different way. Girls speak indirectly. They
like hints?
Hints, exactly. That's in the Russian language or Ukrainian, it's called namyok.
Yeah, hints, basically.
And in those situations, when she says that she really likes that necklace, is when she tells you to buy her that necklace. Or when she asks if do you want to go to the washroom, is when she wants to go to the washroom. She wants her man to willingly offer this to her voluntarily. And it's a very huge miscommunication that even today exists, that I myself didn't know about until I read 2 books.
Yeah, I guess you get used to it after you've been in a relationship for quite a while. You know what your partner wants after some time spent together. So I would just say, listen to what they're saying and try to express your feelings as well, and try to get your feelings not forgotten about, and try not forget about other person's feelings. So always try to keep the respect in your relationship, and try to develop each other.
Okay. So number 5, we have, how do you think social media affects the modern relationship? Because that's a big influence today.
Honestly, it's a crazy influence today, and I honestly think that social media kind of ruins the relationships, personally for me, because there is such a modern trend as showing off healthy or wealthy lifestyle. Everybody is so tempted to show how rich or successful they are, even though in the reality they might be not. And that often comes to women and men, that concerns both of them. I myself personally know a lot of people that are translating wealthy and super rich lifestyle in their social media, showing how successful they are, going to restaurants, driving cool cars, but actually they're struggling to pay their bills in reality. And when it comes to relationships, when you actually want to get to meet somebody in person, you find somebody online, right? Then you like their pictures, you text them, and you have a specific picture that they built on their social media. For example, if the man is showing like wealthy cars, huge, cool restaurants and stuff like that, then the girl is like, oh, he must be rich. But in reality, it might be vice versa. And that kind of ruins the opportunity to even get to know the person, because you kind of feel lied to. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean, because that part is the biggest clash today, is that when people see on the media that someone has a perfect life or a perfect relationship, they have no idea what it's like.
Yeah, what's going on inside their
behind,
relationship.
let's say, behind the curtains.
Yes, exactly.
Because, for example, if a girl is married to a millionaire or something like that, the other girls, they say, oh, I want to have something like that. Girl, you have no idea what that millionaire demands.
Yeah.
For example, there's a lot of guys who work so hard to go to such extent to earn all that money.
Yeah.
They're gonna demand stuff like threesomes or whatever.
That makes sense.
You have to.
Yeah, if you struggle
to
a lot to make
compensate.
something, you will not just share it to a random person just because you have money. You will definitely want something back. And that's how business works as well. So I would say that that's true. And when it comes to social media at this point, I just feel like it's so complicated to meet a real person nowadays, because you see all this, not even meet. It's so hard to continue your own relationship, because you see how successful people, like kind of successful people, are translating how perfect their relationship is, and you kind of start to question your own relationship with your partner, and you're like, oh, they're going to restaurants, they're going to fancy resorts. Why I'm not like that? Maybe I should find a new partner. And you start to be insecure about your own job, about your own earnings and stuff like that. But not a lot of people actually think that just not might be the case, and it might be false, because people love to only show their best side, right, on their social media.
There's actually a perfect joke for that that I heard in Ukrainian, so I'll try to translate it. And there's a part where a couple is just at home, and the wife sees through the window how another couple, the man bought her a very expensive coat. And she asks her husband, why didn't you buy me a coat so expensive as that guy did for his wife? And he then says to her, look down for the third floor, three stories below. And they see something extremely erotic over there. And he tells her, when you do for me what she's doing for him right now, then I'll buy you the coat.
Makes sense.
So that's the basic explanation of when people try to expect a perfect relationship, and
yeah, a lot of people,
they don't exist.
Yeah, they don't exist. And a lot of people just judge their own partner instead of looking at themselves too. So because in a relationship, afterwards, it's always about the two people and not about only one person. So it's not only about the man not earning enough money, but it's probably about the woman not doing something as well to make the man earn more money.
Of course, it all has to be balanced.
Yeah, it all has to be balanced, and people have to support each other. And that's, I guess, my main message.
So thank you, Alex, for visiting us. It was very nice to have you as a guest, such a professional creative video maker.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, so I guess that's it. We have to stand up to shake our hands.
Okay.